Invite a budget blind style consultant to show you how to transform your rooms just by changing your window coverings. Canada's #1 choice for window coverings. Visit budgetblinds.ca today.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Environment Canada has issued an air quality advisory for most of Saskatchewan. Dry conditions and a major heat wave are creating the perfect climate for wildfires. Dozens of fires are already burning across Saskatchewan's remote north, threatening communities. More than 1,000 residents have been forced to flee. Firefighters battling the flames are being warned to be prepared to leave at any moment because the situation is volatile. And crews were called out to a grass fire yesterday about 50 kilometers south of Lloydminster. Several fire departments responded to the call around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A field about 300 square meters just north of the Highway 14 and 17 junction caught fire. About 10 firefighters scrambled to contain the blaze. It was eventually put out around 5 p.m. The cause is not yet known, but our cameras caught the smoldering remains of a pickup truck at the scene. It's not yet known who owns the truck or what it was doing there. RCMP say they are investigating. Back to local news now. Lloydminster RCMP are asking for your help to catch some taggers. The vandalism occurred sometime overnight in the overnight hours on Saturday. 2 different tags are found. One appears to be the letters KO, and the second says "Stomp Down 2015" with a drawing above the words. This happened in several different areas around the city. If you know who is responsible or recognize the tags, you're asked to call Lloydminster RCMP. Well, if you're trying to pack in your vitamin D this summer, you won't have a problem. Even though it is smoky outside, the sun continues to cast its rays. Eva Wallach has more on how people in Lloydminster are handling the heat.
In June alone, we've surpassed 24 degrees 15 times, prompting people to try anything to cool down.
We have a lot of fans going, lots of freezies, helping the heat. It was 30 degrees in our house yesterday, so it was very hot. It was nicer outside.
There isn't a shortage of portable air conditioning units in town, but local air conditioning installers are hitting the road at a steady pace.
Obviously, it's in response to the warm weather that we're having, but the guys have been kept quite busy, especially the last couple of days. We're installing, in many cases, 2 a day.
The average cost of an air conditioning unit is close to $4,000, but for those who simply can't invest in that, positioning your fans by a door or a window will help with air movement.
What it does is gets rid of that slug of heat that gets built up during the daytime. If you put a fan in a window and open other windows in there, as it cools off at nighttime, it does tend to suck that heat out of the building.
One concern that never goes away during high temperatures is heat stroke, which occurs when people sweat profusely and don't replace the lost fluid with enough water. Doctors recommend that you cover up with hats, hydrate yourself, and stay out of direct sunlight for long periods of time.
What happens in a heat stroke is they can faint, they can collapse, and the severe form of heat stroke, they can even have a seizure, and very rarely they can have brain damage.
Many people believe that you should still wear sunscreen when it's cloudy out, but Dr. Sayeed has a different view.
In my opinion, not necessary a sunscreen because there is no sun.
Eva Wallach, Newcap News.
And although the wildfires burning in northern Saskatchewan aren't bringing down the temperatures, they are, on the other hand, affecting some people with asthma. Dr. Sayeed says staying in an air-conditioned room where the smoke is filtered can help alleviate some of those symptoms, and that's definitely good advice for anybody out today. A lot of smoke in the area.
Yeah, oh, you noticed that.
It's tough not to.
Yeah, it's out there. I think there's a visibility of only about a couple of kilometers at the moment.
Tough.
So even if you're driving on the roads, it's affecting that
and
as
I
well.
understand we do have some pictures from viewers that have been submitted to us, and you can barely see what's going on in most of these because of that smoke.
Yeah, look at that visibility. That's out of the lake, and that's a picture of the sun. That's very similar to actually what we're going to see in my weather boards coming up in a couple of minutes, in a couple seconds here. Yeah, another example of driving. It's crazy how much smoke those wildfires are producing out there.
Oh, absolutely, and unfortunately, a lot of warm temperatures bringing this kind of in. And especially in northern Saskatchewan, some of those communities still dealing with that. Yeah. Unfortunately, we hope that this kind of clears up in the next few days.
That one's actually in L'Orange there. You know, ash. It looks like snow on the ground there. So that's right where those wildfires are are, and that's where all that smoke is coming from initially.